Homeownership is a wonderful thing. You can do whatever you want when it comes to your home, from landscaping to decorating. But when something breaks, what do? Especially during the stay-at-home order. Joining us with more insight in today's Angie's List, owner of Angie's List, Angie Hicks, joins me now. Angie, how are you doing? Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Everything good with you and yours?
Everything's good. Everyone's staying at home, maybe getting a little cabin fever, but staying safe.
Are you at home now yourself?
Yes.
Okay, very nice. Well, I wanted to talk to you today because one of the big questions we have is what should homeowners or renters be doing now to get work done in their home if something should break during this pandemic?
Right. Everyone's really focused on making sure they're staying safe during this time, but unfortunately, things still might happen to our houses. So we need to think about how we're going to tackle that if something happens. So, for example, if your furnace or air conditioner goes out, or if you've got a plumbing leak, those are the types of things that aren't going to be able to wait several weeks till our shelter-in-place orders are over. So talking to your pro about what safety measures they're taking that they've instituted is going to be really important. And as I've talked to pros over the last couple of weeks, I'm so impressed in how responsive they've been to this issue. You know, whether they're wearing protective gear, adding extra cleaning to their jobs, as well as, you know, making sure their employees are healthy before they're sending them into your home, which is great for homeowners. And also as a homeowner, think about telling them what you're comfortable with. So making sure that they're keeping adequate distance when they're in the home, for example, saying like, hey, I'm going to tell you ahead of time where the room is that you're going to go to. That way I can be over in the kitchen while you're heading off to the bathroom where the problem is, for example.
Very nice. Let's talk a little bit about this data from this upcoming survey. This is about what homeowners or professionals are doing to keep homeowners safe right now. Will you tell me a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So we recently, surveyed pros, and they actually are almost 100% of them had put increased safety measures in place, whether, it's increased cleaning, protective gear. These are all things they're thinking about. I think one of the interesting things that are coming out of this survey as well is that like 40% of pros have also started doing video chat, whether they're using FaceTime or whether they're using other tools, Zoom, things like that. And using that to talk to their customers, because if you think about it as a homeowner, you can go and show your pro what's actually the problem is in your house if you're using video, and they might even be able to help you over the video and not actually have to come to the home.
Very nice. And what can people do themselves during this time if they're at home? I know people who are fortunate enough to be working right now might actually be saving a little bit of money. Is this a good time to be planning for a future renovation with their home?
You absolutely can start planning. And I think one of the things is while we're spending so much time in our homes, take a critical eye to your house and make sure you see what issues or any kind of things that might be going on in your house, because we also don't want to have any surprise financial impacts, right? So we want to make sure we're checking the roof. You know, if a spring storm just went through, go out, make sure your roof looks in good condition. You know, make sure your windows are sealed tight. Also to make a list of all of those things you might be thinking about, and then start to prioritize those based on structural problems, mechanical issues, all the way down to your wish list. So if you're thinking that like by this fall you'd like to put in a new kitchen, now's a great time to start planning and talking to contractors. You can do all of that remotely, and that way you've got that foundation laid, so when you're able to do projects like that, you'll be ready.
Angie, how do you feel about DIY fixes around the home? Should homeowners try to fix something, maybe through YouTube or other videos, or should they just hold off and wait for the pro?
Yeah, I mean, I think it really depends on, I think about this, it depends on your skill set, whether you have the tools and whether you have the time. This is not the time to try something you've never done before. Because if it goes wrong, you may not be able, it might turn into something that you need to get a pro in there right away. So stick to things that you've done before and you're comfortable with. And realize that you need to make sure you have the tools you need, which may not be accessible right now.
And I'm guessing this is not the time to get injured during a pandemic.
Not the time to get injured. Do not use that nail gun. Put that aside. This is not the time. We do not want anyone having to go to the hospital unnecessarily.
Absolutely. Angie, thank you so much for joining us. Where can people get more information from Angie's List?
We've got all of these tips and more at angieslist.com.
All right, and we've got you guys connected there on CILiving.tv. Angie, thanks so much for joining us today. Really enjoyed talking with you, and stay safe.
You too. Thank you.